Hello and welcome to a brand new Mind Mastery video. Today I'm going to be talking about a process which can enable us to improve how we perceive ourselves and the world around us, improve our ability to connect with the experience itself. So rather than being stuck in our heads, rather than being influenced by all these different cognitive biases and our own interpretations and prejudices, how can we kind of connect with the experience itself on this more intimate level? So that obviously can enable us to be in the world authentically, more than if we were to follow our various cognitive biases, interpretations, beliefs that often don't serve us if we want to connect with the experience itself. The perspective I'm going to be using is called Phenomenology, which is a school in philosophy, but also an approach in psychology. The general idea is that in our everyday life, we are using something called the natural attitude. The natural attitude is basically where we go through our everyday life, everyday experiences, but we don't really question whether what we see is really what is out there, right? So whether what we see is simply our cognitive bias, our memory, our interpretation, or whether it's something that truly exists in that moment, in the reality around us. So the natural attitude, as it is called in phenomenology, is developed through our memories, so basically our past experiences. When we have a number of similar experiences, we're going to start grouping them together because they are similar. And then in the future, in order to understand our experiences, we're going to be drawing on this past experiences we've had in the past, especially if that present moment experience is similar to what we've already experienced. So obviously there is not much space for questioning, right? It's a very efficient way of dealing with the reality, with the world. It's a very efficient way of understanding what is happening around us. But if we go along with it, with this natural attitude, there's not much room for making sure that our interpretation of our experience is right. And, there is a reason why, for example, cognitive behavioral therapy exists. And there is a reason why psychologists work on the list of cognitive biases. There is a reason why the perceptual bias exists in the first place, because we are prone to getting stuck in our heads, so to speak, right? We are prone to confuse what is in our heads. We are prone to confuse our thoughts, beliefs with the reality itself. So what is the process of bracketing? Basically, when we want to bracket our perception, our understanding, our interpretation, we need to be able to recognize what we perceive or what we understand we perceive in the first place. So we need to be able to sort of become aware of our awareness, become aware of our understanding or our interpretation, right? Otherwise, you don't know what to bracket off. You don't know what to step outside. So it kind of leads to this idea of mindfulness, of witnessing awareness, where we are able to perceive how we make sense of our experience. This could also be called metacognition or meta-awareness. So stepping outside of our awareness of our present moment experience, where you can see more than you are, where you can see how you make sense of the experience, how you make these associations between different beliefs, different ideas, different thoughts. And in my opinion, I don't think it's a process that you can just engage in anytime you like, but it's a process that you learn how to practice over a period of time. Because for some peculiar reason, whatever that reason is, but our ego likes to feel in control. It likes to feel like it knows what it's doing. It likes to feel like it knows what's happening, right? Because the moment it starts admitting that, maybe our interpretation is wrong, maybe we see the world through incorrect lenses, or maybe our view is limited. The moment we start admitting that or seeing that, we're most likely gonna start experience discomfort because it takes away our control. It makes us realize that, no, we are not really that much in control. We have some control, but not that much. So we might be mistaken. We might be attached to ideas that limit our performance. That we might be attached to beliefs that keep us in a safety zone, but prevent us from engaging in life fully, prevent us from maybe even taking responsibility for who we are, for what we do in our life. So bracketing starts with our ability to engage in self-observance on a regular basis. So how you make sense of your experience, what are your beliefs? When you jump to some conclusions, when you have an opinion, how did you come up with that opinion? How did you come up with that particular belief? How did you make sense? How did you derive the meaning in that particular moment? Because I think the easiest way to understand bracketing, or to understand how we make sense of our experience, is to simply reduce it to a meaning. So how do we extract the meaning from the experience itself, right? To use a very practical example, I've been struggling to record this video because I couldn't find the spot. I got very easily annoyed with not being able to focus. So in that moment, the meaning of my experience was that, all right, I'm annoyed, I can't focus, I feel uncomfortable, I can't find a comfortable spot for recording my video. That's the meaning. But if I bracket off these meanings that I extracted from the experience, I can see that I simply couldn't relax. So in other words, the essence of that experience, I think it's the essence, because I might be able to further bracket off the ideas that I'm having, is that I simply couldn't relax in that moment. So all these extra interpretations put me further away from my experience, from the present moment experience, which was simply that I couldn't relax, right? So all these other interpretations, like, oh, I'm uncomfortable, I can't find the right spot, all these different interpretations put me further and further away from the actual experience that I was having. So I become aware of the interpretation I've had of that experience. I bracketed it off, so I put it all aside, and then I was able to see the essence of that moment, which was I couldn't relax. Another way to approach bracketing, which is a process that can enable us to get in touch with the essence of the experience, is to simply make a list of our interpretations. How do we interpret this present moment experience? And then put it all aside. What's left? What is left once you put all your ideas aside? What is left once you put your beliefs aside? That's a kind of essence of, in theory, that's the essence of your experience. That's the essence of being in the present moment. And I think that the last question that I will try to answer, but I don't really have a complete answer, is that how far can we go with bracketing? How much can we bracket off? Once we start putting aside all our interpretations, all our beliefs, once we start stripping our present moment experience of all our thoughts, interpretations, beliefs, opinions, prejudices, what is actually left? How much can we go into this present moment experience and get into this perspective of, all-seeing eye, if you like, where we perceive the essence of the experience, where we perceive the essence of the present moment and the reality itself? And is it even possible at all? The argument generally posed by existential philosophers was that we can't really get fully into the essence of the experience because we are constantly immersed in the experience itself. We are constantly being conscious of what is happening around us, what is happening within us and to us, right? So you can't completely step outside because you are permanently participating in the experience itself. You are permanently connected with existence itself. So in that case, I think the best we can do is to get as close to the existence itself as we can, right? So in short, the more interpretations we have, the more ideas we have, the more attached we are to how we understand the world, the further away we are from the experience itself, from this raw existence itself. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, drop them just below the video. And if you're interested in private coaching, don't hesitate to send me a message. And lastly, if you want to improve your ability to get in touch with the present moment experience, if you want to learn more about how you make sense of your experience, don't hesitate to sign up for my Awareness and Dissociation workshop. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.